So we're on, we're at the bottom of Chaf Aleph Amud Beis, and the Mishnah said by regular Kriyas Torah. So it spoke about Mondays and Thursdays. Ein Pochsin Vein Mosifin. But it's not going on these words. This has to be etc. And the Mishnah said that Aposech v'Chosem b'Vorach la'Fanei Alachreha, and it said it 3 times in the Mishnah, and that means that in times of the Mishnah only the first Aliyah said the first bracha, and the last Aliyah said the last bracha, and there were no brachas in between. The Kohanes, if you have the 3 Aliyahs, the Kohen would say the first bracha, and the Yisrael would say the last bracha, and the Kohen didn't say an after bracha, the Levi didn't say any bracha, they just got up and read. And it said it 3 times in the Mishnah, both on Mondays and Thursdays, when you have 3 Aliyahs, etc., when you have 4 Aliyahs, always. Tana Pesach Mevarach Lefanav V'Chosim Mevarach Lachreha. Levi Yaakov asked the other day if it's muchach in the Mishnah, that's what the words mean, but the Brisa says openly that the one who says the first Aliyah, he says the first bracha, and the one who says the last Aliyah, Chosem, he says the last bracha. So it's openly. The Gemara's the kasha, the Gemara's times already, they didn't do like that. They did, each person said both brachas. So the Gemara refers to that. How come we do different than the Mishnah says? How come nowadays each Aliyah says both brachas? And so the words mean because people go out in the middle and they come late. Some people leave before the Torah reading is over, and they come late. Nechnasin means they come late. Yosin means that they leave early. So what is the problem? So Rashi over here learns that the people who leave early, they might think that there's not going to be any after bracha. If they heard the first bracha and they're going to leave, like Kohen and Levi's, they're not going to hear the last person saying the bracha, so they're going to think that there's no such thing as a bracha b'chsa Torah. Rashi says, and if someone comes in late and he didn't hear the first bracha, he's going to think that there's no bracha in the Torah before. I don't know what the big problem is. So he doesn't think so. He never. It means if he comes every single time late, and he doesn't, and he's going to come to Gavai. What's going to be? What's the problem? He's going to make such a michshol, and also if someone's going to leave, so he's going to think there's no bracha Torah lachreha. So it's a little difficult. I don't know what to say. This is Rashi's pshat. There's another pshat that they bring down from the Sefer HaMichtam, a different pshat, that each person of the olim, each person of the aliyah has to have a bracha. So if you were there in the shul, so then you heard the first bracha, so everybody was yotzei, and then when he gets an aliyah, so he'll be yotzei the bracha from the other olim. But if he's going to come late, so he didn't hear the first bracha, they'll give him an aliyah, and he didn't hear the first bracha, so he wasn't yotzei the bracha. That's another possible pshat. According to that, maybe you're not going as gezerah. The word gezerah some don't have, and it means that he's going to miss the bracha. The one who comes late missed the first bracha. So if he's going to get an aliyah, so he's not going to have the first bracha. And if somebody leaves early, he got an aliyah and then he leaves, he's not going to have the last bracha. So therefore, we say each person should make a bracha before and after. But again, Rashi doesn't say that. Rashi says that people who come late or leave early might make a mistake and think that there is no before bracha or after bracha. So therefore, each aliyah makes a bracha. The Gemara continues. You get 4 aliyahs. So it's very fascinating that the Gemara, the one sugi in Shas where it talks about how do you read Rosh Chodesh, comes out today on Rosh Chodesh. Today's sugi is going to be how do you divide the aliyahs on Rosh Chodesh. So just a little preview. I think I have it over here. Here it is on the screen. And this is the parsha of Rosh Chodesh and Parshas Pinchas. So the way that it's divided is 8 psukim, and then 2 psukim, and then 5 psukim. The first talks about Korban Tamid, the everyday Korban, and then it talks about Shabbos, 2 psukim, and then it talks about Rosh Chodesh. And we read all 3 of them since Rosh Chodesh is also a regular day. It also can come on Shabbos. So we read the whole thing, and it's not like the next parsha talks about Pesach, no Shachas, but here all these 3 parshas go together, and you have 4 aliyahs, and you have to divide it into these psukim, and that's going to be the Gemara's issue. How do you get enough aliyahs to get into the parsha? And the Gemara is going to bring on the halachas that you're not allowed to leave 3 psukim over. You're not supposed to go start within 3 psukim of the beginning of a parsha. This is the way the parshios are divided. So you have an 8 and a 2 and a 5. So that's how the Gemara is going to start now. Back to the Gemara. Domine ulam ba'arav me rava. Ulam ba'arav asked Rava. Parshas Rosh Chodesh ketzit kohanos. So how do you read the parsha of Rosh Chodesh? How do you divide the aliyahs? It says the Mishnah have to have 4 aliyahs. How are you going to get 4 aliyahs into the parsha of Rosh Chodesh? How are you going to divide the first parsha? The first parsha of 8 psukim. How are you going to divide? How many aliyahs are you going to give to the first parsha of 8 psukim? Nikri trei klosa. Psukim are you going to give to two people 3 psukim each, so that's only 6 psukim. You have 2 psukim left. Pashalu trey, you have 2 psukim left, and you're not supposed to end within 3 psukim of the end of a parsha. We're going to see later on why. It doesn't say why. This is halacha that you're not supposed to leave less than 3 psukim till the end of the paragraph. So you can't just read 2 aliyahs of 3. So what are you going to do? Nikri arba arba. We can take care of that problem. Just read 4. Each aliyah gets 4 psukim. So you got 2 aliyahs, and you got it into the end of the parsha. That'll be okay. But the problem is that you have to have two more aliyahs, and you only have another 7 psukim to go. Pashalu shiva. There's only 7 psukim left. Why is that? Yom Shabbos is trade, having trade. That next parsha of Shabbos is 2 psukim. Rosh Hashanah having chamisha. Then there's 5 psukim. Altogether 7, 5 and 2. How are you going to get 2 aliyahs into the next? 2 more aliyahs into the next 7 psukim. Should we read? If it's I have to stop this a second. I think. How does it go? I have to stop the sharing and then start again. I'm sorry, I have to jump back and forth. Maybe there's a better way to do it, but here we got 2 aliyahs into the first parsha. We did 8 psukim. We did 4 and 4. If we would do that, we need another 2 aliyahs in these next psukim. So what is the third aliyah going to do? Would he read 2 psukim of Shabbos and then 1 more pasuk? That'll be the third aliyah. So Gemara is going to say you're not allowed to do that because you're not allowed to only read 1 pasuk into the next parsha because the next one is going to be starting within the first 3 psukim, and you're not allowed to do that. Again, the Gemara is going to say later on why not. Let's see the Gemara again. I'm sorry. I hope it's not going to disturbing anybody about jumping back and forth. So how are you going to read in the 7 psukim? How are you going to get 2 more aliyahs? How are you going to read? The third aliyah is going to read 2 and 1 altogether. They have 3 psukim. Just like you're not allowed to leave over 3 psukim, you're also not allowed to start the next parsha from beginning within the 3 psukim of the beginning. So if you're going to just go 1 pasuk in, the next aliyah is going to be beginning from pasuk 2, and you're not so. You have to be starting from pasuk 4. You have to have already had 3 psukim. What's another possibility? So maybe you go 3 psukim in. That means that you're going to read 2 psukim, as we said. You'll read 2. The third aliyah will be 2 psukim and go another 3 psukim in, but then we only have 2 psukim left. So first of all, you're not going to have the fourth aliyah only has 2 psukim, and also there's another point. You're not supposed to leave over 2 psukim either. Even if you'd have more psukim to read afterwards, there's no more. We're not going to read more than that. We're not going to go further. So that's the whole reading. So if you have 4 and then 4, you have 2 aliyahs, and then the third aliyah will have another 5 psukim. That's 3, but then you don't have enough. So that's also not an eitzah. So how are we going to figure out to read the parsha of Rosh Chodesh? It's interesting that the Gemara doesn't make it like what do we do every Rosh Chodesh? The Gemara what does everybody do? So he said, how does we?
They're trying to establish it, aren't they?
It's true, but it's times of Rav already. And what do they do? It's not the ancient history. It was times of Rav.
Why didn't they say, well, in our shul we always did this?
Right. So it could be that all the shuls are different. Then they're trying to establish it now. What should we do? Like everybody's figure out other things to do. But Danik Gemara is saying all these problems. Amalo. So that was what he asked Rabba. So Rabba said, Zulo Shamati. I don't have any tradition about how you're supposed to read on Rosh Chodesh. It could be, like you said, that shuls, everyone did something. But how are you supposed to do it? What?
Everybody could have been doing it their own way, and some might have been wrong. Even.
Right. So Zulo Shemati, I don't have any tradition. I don't know Masorah how you're supposed to do it in Rosh Chodesh, but I do know something similar that I could extract from there. And we happen to know this because we learned Maseches Tainis. Kiosef Bashamati, I heard something similar. The Tanan Yom Rishon Bereshis V'Hirokia. This is the one of the Mamodos, that the people who represented Am Yisrael and the 24 Mishmoros of the Israelim Mamodos. So it says that every day they had Kriyas HaTorah of their weekly shift, and they say the Bereshis, the more over there says, because if not for Karbonos, then the creation wouldn't exist. So over there, they read Parsha, they say the Parshas Bereshis, and it says on the first day, you read about Bereshis, which is the first day of the week, and also Hirokia, which is the second day. You read Yom Rishon, Yom Sheni. The Tani Yalla, we learned in the Brisa, Bereshis B'Shnaim, Hirokia Bechad. The Parsha of Bereshis, that paragraph, you wait to get 2 aliyahs, and Hirokia is 1 aliyah. But the problem is that this paragraph of Bereshis is 5 psukim altogether. How are you going to divide 5 psukim into 2 aliyahs? So it's similar issue to us, and we'll be able to extract the same issue. We have 8 psukim that you have to get 3 aliyahs into, and That's our issue. And over there's 5 psukim to get 2 aliyahs. Whatever we're going to do over there, we can apply it here also. But over there we ask the kasha, Bishlam Yehirukia, I can make it much bigger. So let's get it bigger. But we ask the kasha over there, Bishlam Yehirukia Be'achad, that less of psukim havu. The second day of creation is 3 psukim, so there's no problem. You can't one aliyah into 3 psukim. But Ela Bereshis B'Shnaim, how are you going to get 2 aliyahs into the paragraph of Bereshis? Chamisha psukim havu. There's altogether 5 psukim. B'Tanya, Kari B'Torah, Li'ifkas, M'Shlosha psukim. Each aliyah has to have 3. How are you going to get 2 aliyahs into 5 psukim? Bitmar Allah, and we don't over there, Machlokes Rav and Shmuel. And that Machlokes Rav and Shmuel, the Chor is going to apply also to Rosh Chodesh. Rav Amadolik, Shmuel Amaposik. Rav says that you read the pasuk again. So the first aliyah will read pasuk Aleph Beis Gimel, and the second aliyah will read Gimel Daled Hey. So you read pasuk Gimel 2 times.
Say it again. The
first one in Bereishis is Bar Alakim. Yeah. So the 3 will start, and it'll be the first 3 psukim, Aleph Beis and Gimel.
How can you do that if you're going to be leaving over 2 psukim?
Nice. The answer is going to be that there's no choice. We have no choice. So it's an exception to the rule. We really would not like to do that.
And why didn't they just go on to Yehirukia? Why didn't they start reading Yehirukia?
What's it going to help? They have to
do 3 from Yehirukia.
Yehirukia is 3. You have to stop. Yehirukia is going to be altogether. You have 8 psukim to read, 5 and then 3. That's the total of Kriyas Torah on the Mamados. The first parsha is 5, and the second one is 3. We have to get 3 aliyahs into that. So we'll leave the last one by himself. Yehirukia.
We have to leave it by itself for double.
I mean, he has 3 aliyahs. They're not going to gain anything. You have to double anyway. So in the first parsha, that's 5. So we have 5 psukim, and you repeat. Okay, and Yaakov is pointing out that you went, if you did 3, so then you only have 2 left at that point. And even though you're going to double over again and do from pasuk Gimel, yeah, right. It looks like you're making a big mess. You're leaving over 2, and then when you start again the second time, you're starting from pasuk 3. You left over 2 before.
You can't do 5 and 5. So
why not read the whole thing over again? Nice. That's a nice point. Why not? Like Yaakov's asking, if you're repeating anyway, repeat the whole thing. So at least you didn't get messed up by leaving 2 psukim and starting from the 3rd pasuk. Okay. So the Gemara says, Rabbi Madolik, that means you repeat it again. The word dolik means to jump, so it means that you jump back. That's how it's jump back and read it again. Ushmol lama posek, that you read half a pasuk. So you read 2.5 psukim, and then the second aliyah starts from the mid pasuk, and he has a half plus another 2.
And half is like a whole, that kind of a thing.
It's not like a whole, it's like an aliyah, but usually you don't divide a pasuk, but here we have no choice.
Part of a day is a whole day, so we're saying part of a pasuk is a whole pasuk. So we can say it's like 3 psukim.
It's okay, good. As far as the halach, you have to have 3 psukim. This is called 3 psukim. And here we're dividing a pasuk, we're inventing a new break. And it just comes out very interesting that the 3rd pasuk is Vayomer Elokim Yehi Or, Vayehi Or. So the aliyah is going to be Vayomer Elokim Yehi Or. That's and then the next pasuk starts Vayehi Or. Takes a breath, and then he reads another 2 psukim. So you divide it in 2.5 and 2.5. That's the Shmuel's 8s over there. And then we have to take all this and then apply it to Rosh Chodesh. We'll jump a second to the pasuk just to see it. I'll have to again. I'm sorry.
Both Rav and Shmuel are both saying we don't have a choice. We have to.
Right. That's what the Gemara is going to say soon. And just to go back to our Rosh Chodesh, we're going to have to do something about getting 3 aliyahs into 8 psukim.
So we go back to.
So it's going to be the machlokes. We have to get 3. 2 aliyahs, no problem. You have 8 psukim. You can get 2. You can get 3 aliyahs. You have to get 3 aliyahs into these 2 psukim. That's going to be into these 8 psukim. That's the issue. And Rav will say, so double over some psukim again. And Shmuel will say, make some half psukim. Do
no, but you have Shabbos also.
Shmuel says you can do half plus.
You got Shabbos to work with.
What are you going to do? The Gemara said before that you can't. Lachatchili wouldn't be able to just do 2 psukim and 1 because you're not supposed to just go 1 psukim into the next one.
Shabbos to the 3rd aliyah.
Why is that going to help you? 1, 2, 3. The Gemara said, what are you going to do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're not supposed to leave over 2 psukim.
Okay, so okay.
You're saying here there's no choice. So
no, I don't know. So let's see.
Okay, let's see what the Gemara is going to say. But that's what the Gemara is not going to say till the end of the sugya, the application, to what we're going to talk about by Rosh Chodesh. We'll have to apply it ourselves. But the yesod, the foundation is going to be either according to Rav, you're going to double the psukim in order to get enough aliyahs in. According to Shmuel, you would divide the pasuk. Back to our sugya. Now the Gemara, the rest of the sugi here is like how do you call it? Copy and paste. It's all from Maseches Taanis. What we had over there, we're talking about the sugi over there by Bereshis, by Yerukia, and until we come back to our sugi. We had this whole thing in Taanis already. Rav Amadolik, my time lama posik. Why does Rav not agree to Shmuel to divide the pasuk in half? So he says you're not supposed to divide a pasuk. Moshe and any pasuk that Moshe didn't divide, they didn't stop over there. So we don't divide. You're not supposed to divide a pasuk. So that's why I don't want to do it that way. The Shmuel argue and say that you are allowed to divide. Surely Rab's right. You're not supposed to divide a pasuk. Rabbi Chanina Kara means like the Rabbi Hanania, the Rebbe, the Malam Tinokas. He was a teacher. Kara is like Mikra. He was a Chumash teacher. So he said, that he didn't allow me. I tried very much. It was very difficult. And I tried to ask Rabbi Chanina Agadol if I'd be able to teach a pasuk, to learn psukim and divide it, not to have a long, let's say the whole pasuk at once. And he only permitted me for the children because since they're learning and it's hard for them to learn such a whole pasuk at a time, so he permitted me to teach a part of a pasuk at a time, but otherwise you're not allowed to. So here, how come Shmuel, you're allowing to divide the pasuk in the shul? It's not for children. So the my answer is it's the same thing. It's a problem. Really, you shouldn't be allowed to do it for children either. The only reason why you're allowed to is because you have no choice. The children can't learn so much at a time. So you have to do it in bite-sized pieces. Here also we have a different problem because we can't get enough aliyahs. We can't get two aliyahs into 5 psukim. So if need, they're allowed to do it with dochak. So this is also a dochak. So you read 2.5 psukim, then you read another 2.5 psukim. That's how you got 2 aliyahs into 5 psukim.
Excuse me, just a side point. You're saying Rabbi Chanina, but the way where the yud is, it looked like it would be Hananya.
The first one should be Rabbi Hananya. The second one is Rabbi Chanina. Is that what we're looking at? The same thing?
Oh, they're 2 different people.
No, Rabbi Hananya Karo is saying that I asked Rabbi Chanina Godel.
Oh,
it could be the gears of Hanina, but even if there is, one is a teacher and one is a Godel. One is like the Hanina the Great. There could be other gears maybe. But anyway, he asked that he only allowed him to do it for the children. But Shmuel says if you can do it for the children, you can do it for the adults also, if they also have to stop for some reason. And here the reason why they have to stop is because you can't get 2 aliyahs into 5 psukim. So we'll divide that pasuk into half. We don't think you're allowed.
It's not because they're obligated to read or the shas chinuch.
So when we're teaching them, even though also,
so therefore we can
no, because
we
it's
can do a
no, not
like half a
no, not because they're learning, because they can't do the whole pasuk at a time. And if you're teaching adults, you would teach the whole pasuk at a time. You wouldn't say half a pasuk.
But they're always children, therefore they're not chi of the mitzvahs.
The teacher is not allowed to teach a half a pasuk inherently.
Yeah.
But he says for the children you may. The Rebbe is going to say.
So I'm asking the kasha on the adults that you want to, because you have a problem with having 2.5. You want to have 2.5 pasukim.
Yes.
We don't do that.
The Gemara said the teacher should not be allowed to say half a pasuk at a time. He lost half the kids already. He can't teach a whole pasuk. So the Rebbe asked, "Can I teach half pasuk at a time?"
He got permission from
yeah, why did he get permission? So he's an adult who's saying half a pasuk. How's he allowed to do that? Because the children need it.
Right.
That the Rebbe should teach half pasuk at a time. So you see permission, even though you're not supposed to, but it's like a shasat chak. So
but they're not chiv mitzvahs.
I'm talking about the Rebbe. The Rebbe.
But the Rebbe is only doing it for the children.
But the Rebbe is not allowed to say half a pasuk.
Oh, he himself is not allowed.
So the answer is he's allowed to do it in order to teach the children because they can't swallow such a big slice. If it would be teaching adults, we wouldn't allow it because you're not supposed to say half a pasuk. Okay. So and then Shmuel says the same way that we allow for the children because they need it, so we're allowed to do it for them. So too we're allowed to divide the psukim in shul because we have to get 2 aliyahs into 5 psukim. Good.
Yes, I'm not quite thinking the same way as Shmuel. Because I wouldn't allow that answer by adults.
Why is the Rebbe allowed to teach half a pasuk? He's an adult.
I mean, the question is the children. How much?
Why is the Rebbe allowed to say half a
For the
pasuk?
sake of the children.
But he's an adult.
Can't do it.
He's an adult. How is he allowed to say half a pasuk? He's a bar chiyuv. He's chayv mitzvahs. How is he allowed to say half a pasuk?
I don't understand the issue of saying half a pasuk.
You're not supposed to say a pasuk. Moshe didn't divide the pasuk, so you don't divide the pasuk. Say a whole pasuk. Don't stop a mid sentence. So it's saying you're allowed to stop a mid sentence for a reason. What's the reason here? Happens to be children. Here happens to be because you need more aliyahs. But even though you're not allowed to, it's a lachatchila. But b'dochak you're allowed to. I think it makes sense. Okay. Now the Gemara goes the other way. Why doesn't Shmuel hold the Rav Zeitza? Shmuel lama posek, my time lama doleg. Why doesn't he say to repeat a pasuk? What's wrong with repeating a pasuk? read Aleph Beis Gimel, and then read Gimel Gimel Dalet Hey. The Gemara says, "Gzeira mishum anachnasim mishum hayotzin," that you're losing out because you're going to leave over 2 psukim, like Lev Yaakov asked, that you're going to do Aleph Beis Gimel, and you only have 5 psukim, you only have 2 psukim left. And then again, you're going to start from Gimel. So you started from Pasuk Gimel. You didn't start after 3 psukim. This was your point.
Because of the Nachnasim.
And here the Gemara says the reason why not. Until now, we don't know the reason. Here the Gemara says the reason is because the latecomers and the early leavers, early goers. That how come? Because before we said a different point about saying the bracha. The bracha before here talking about how many psukim you need. So if a person comes late and he's going to see that starting from Pasuk Gimel, he's going to say, "Oh, the first aliyah was only 2 psukim." He's going to learn the wrong halacha. And if he's going to leave after the first aliyah, he's going to see, "Oh, I see the next parsha is only the next pasuk. This rest of the parsha is only 2 psukim left. So the next aliyah is only going to be 2 psukim." He's going to go out thinking that you're allowed to read only 2 psukim, and that's terrible. That someone should think so. I'm not sure what's going to happen exactly when it comes to shul next time, and he's wants to read 2 psukim. Everyone will scream at him. So I don't know what exactly the case is going to be. What we're so worried about, but that's what the Gemara seems to say. Like Rashi said before,
he'll say that's the halacha and do it somewhere.
And someone over there, wherever someone is, go to an island someplace, make his own shul, and he's not going to know the halacha. He's a gadol over there, so it's very strange. Like that Yehoshua for such a thing. But that's what the Gemara seems to say. So that means you're not supposed to leave over 2 psukim. So therefore, I'm not happy with the eitzah of doing 3 psukim and leaving over 2 because you're not supposed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
The Gemara over there, the Gemara says also. I think the Gemara is going to say that Rav also would have been concerned with that, but the same reason you can't do it. You can't do it with the Gemara is the kasha meisvei. We'll see what the kasha is going to be. It's going to be on everybody, I think. Yeah, the Gemara says meisvei parsha shel shisha psukim karonos b'shnayim. If you have a parsha of a paragraph of 6 psukim, so you divide it into 2 aliyahs, 3 and 3. Very good. V'shel chamisha psukim b'yachid. If you have a parsha of 5 psukim, so then only one person should read. And this Gemara is going to ask, why should only one person read? You could have 2 eights, you could double the pasuk over again, you could divide the pasuk in half. That's going to be the Gemara's kasha. It continues, if the first one read 3 psukim and he stopped, he should have read all 5 psukim. But let's say he only read 3 psukim. Hasheni karish parsha zu bechad parsha acheres, v'yesh omrim shlosha. The fishein maschil parsha parchas b'shlosha psukim. Machlokas, what do you do if the first person only read 3 and he should have read the whole 5? So what does the next aliyah do? So machlokas. One Madama says he should read 2 of this parsha and 1 of the next parsha, and he's not concerned that he just went 1 pasuk into the next parsha, even though the next aliyah is going to start from pasuk 2, and he just left over 1 pasuk. We said you're not supposed to do that. This Madam holds no problem. It's only a problem not to leave over before the end of the parsha. Don't leave over 2 psukim, but to start from pasuk 2 or 3 doesn't concern him. But Yeshomim, that's also a problem. That it's also a problem in the beginning of a parsha. Don't go into the next parsha only 2 psukim, only one pasuk. Go in 3 psukim. Lefish and maskim a parsha bachas b'shlosh psukim, because you're not allowed to start a parsha less than 3. So there's 2 problems. You're not supposed to leave parsha less than 3. You're not supposed to start a parsha within 3. But anyway, the kasha is the emisa, according to our gears and asking everybody. L'mandam adolik nidlog, l'mandam posik nifsog. Our Gemara says, according to Rav, what's the problem? How come that says that when you have a parsha of 5 psukim, only give 1 aliyah? You could double over pasuk 3, or according to Shmuel, you could divide pasuk 3 into 2 halves. So the more answer, over there.
I'm sorry, what is ve'isa?
Ve'isa, if it's true. If it's true, what you said, you Rav, you Shmuel, if it's true what you said, so according to Rav, you should repeat pasuk 3, and according to Shmuel, you should divide pasuk 3, and you can make 2 aliyahs out of 5 psukim. How come it says in the Brisa 6 psukim you can make 2 aliyahs, but 5 psukim make only 1 aliyah? You can make 2 aliyahs out of 5 psukim.
Why aren't you going like Robert Shmuel?
Why the Brisa is against Rav and Shmuel? There's a Brisa. The Brisa seems to say against. It says that a parsha of 5 psukim only can make 1 aliyah. Yeah, both of them.
The Brisa is stronger than.
Yeah, they are more wrong.
So if this is true, what the Brisa is saying,
if Rav and Shmuel are true,
then why didn't the Brisa say that?
Like
that,
right?
Sound like it's
Right.
on the Brisa, but it can't.
No. It means that if you're right, so why does the Brisa not say so?
Okay.
So my answer is that they only Rav and Shmuel agree on this is not the greatest thing. It's only when you have a dochak. Here you're stuck that you can't read more than these amount of psukim. But if you have more, if you could read it, it's on the Shabbos, whatever, you can read more. So then go more. Over there you have the choice of going further into the next parsha. So then read this only 1 parsha and do more. But here, by the case of Bereshis, Vayirakia, we're only going to read these 2 days. So there's no more psukim to read. So we have to do a dochak. And the dochak is going to be either to repeat or to divide the pasuk in half. We came into the subject over here. The Gemara is going to dwell a little bit on this side point that if you made a mistake and you read only 3 psukim out of 5 and you had 2 psukim left, you shouldn't have done that, but you did it. So how much do you read into the next parsha? So the Tanna Kama said just read 1. So you'll have 2 and 1 altogether, 3 psukim. He's not concerned about the fact that the next aliyah is only going to be starting from pasuk 2 of the new paragraph. And the Yeshomim, no, that's a dangerous thing to do. Go 3 psukim, because the next aliyah should start from pasuk 4. So that's the Gemara's issue now. Who do you paskin like? The law is like the Yeshomim that when you have 2 psukim left, you read the 2 psukim plus another 3 psukim into the next parsha. Another point that he said, just like I'm telling you now, the law is like the Yeshomim that when you go, you shouldn't have 2 psukim left at the beginning of the paragraph. Also, you shouldn't have 2 psukim left at the end of the paragraph. And the Gemara is going to say, Pshita, that wasn't even an issue till now. Everyone said, when you have 5 psukim, read the whole thing. Don't be 3 and leave 2. And the machlokus is the issue also in the beginning of the next paragraph. But everybody agreed it's a problem at the end of the paragraph. So what are you telling us, Chedushim? Pshita goes without saying. Hashta mas chalta the kamei kol tanakama machmir yeshomim shir the machmir tanakama lo kolshkein the machmir yeshomim. In the case of going into the parsha, there was a machlokus about that. Is there an issue of leaving 3 psukim starting from the 3rd pasuk in the beginning of a parsha? That was a machlokus. Some said yes, some said not. But everybody agreed. Even the one who's mekel in the issue about starting, he also agreed that you're not supposed to leave at the end. So now that you're paskening that even in the beginning, you're paskening like the Yesh Omrim, that even in the beginning, you shouldn't leave 3 psukim in the beginning of the parsha, less than 3 psukim. So surely he agrees to the Tanna Kama that you're not supposed to leave less than 3 psukim at the end of the parsha. The Gemara says there's a svara that you might say the opposite svara. Which is more usual, latecomers or early goers? Latecomers is more usual. So nechnas and shchichi, that people that come late is more usual, and yotzei lo shchichi, the machi sefer Torah v'nafki. They're not usual that they can leave the sefer Torah and go out. So therefore, what will be that what's chash when you're going to leave over at the end of the parsha? What's chash? Someone's going to leave and say that after the first aliyah, there was a 5 pasuk paragraph, and they read 3 psukim, and there's 2 more to go. What's the chash? Why should you not do that? Because someone might leave now and say the next parsha, the next aliyah is only going to be 2 psukim. That's a late goer. That's not such a big chash. The next chash is a chash that if you're going to start from pasuk 3, if you can leave over 2 psukim, and 1 or 2 psukim, and then you're going to start the next aliyah, that maybe somebody came late, and he's going to see the pasuk starting from pasuk 2 or pasuk 3 of a paragraph, and he'll say that the aliyah before was only 1 or 2 psukim. That's more of a chash. So you might have thought that even though he's choshesh for latecomers, he's not choshesh for early goers. Kamash Malon is choshesh for that also. That some people come late, some people leave early. Now the Gemara asked, so we have now the Tanna Kama, he's a chiddush. The Tanna Kama that said that you're choshesh for early goers and you're not choshesh for latecomers. Early leavers, I should say. Early leavers, okay. Early leaver means that if you
That's why you have to have 3.
Right, you can't leave 3 left over. Why? Because someone will leave and think that the next aliyah is only going to be 2 psukim. He's worried about that, and he's not worried about a latecomer. A latecomer is more usual than an early leaver. The same way that you don't allow them to leave psukim because people might leave early. So surely you should not allow them to start within 3 psukim because maybe a person came late. The answer is Amri. They say the answer is Man the Ayel Shir L'Shayel. The person who comes late is true, he came late, but he's in a good company now. He has who to ask. He'll ask what was with Aliyah before? Only 2 psukim. They'll tell him no. They read the parsha before. But the person who leaves, so he has his own ideas, and he says that they probably are not going to leave only read 2 psukim. He's outside already. He doesn't know who to ask. Very interesting how the Gemara looks at people. They have their own opinions, and they build on it, and then they build their own shul, and they make that. I even know that they only do psukim because I left early, and they probably only had 2 psukim for the last one. It's very interesting. I think Gemara is concerned about these people that they're going to make their own shul, become a rav and a gadol hador, and make the new psak. I don't understand it. And I'd like to have a better explanation, but that's the explanation that I have so far. Okay, so back to the whole issue. What do you do if you need to squeeze in 2 aliyahs into 5 psukim? Machlokes if you repeat the pasuk 3 or you divide pasuk 3. And now, l'chora, hilchas amai,
2.5 and 2.5.
right? Hilchas amai. Thank you. Shalach le here. Shalach le Rabba Brei Rabba Rav Yosef hilchas amai. What do we paskin? Shalach le. So Rav Yosef sent back hilchas dole that you do like Rav, that you repeat the pasuk again. Then soy dolgon, and the middle one is the one who repeats. The middle one is the one that repeats, which is Pashat. Let's say the case of Bereshis, you had 5 and 3. So in the first, so you do, a Levi is going to double over. Aleph, really, it's all the choice. Aleph is Gimel, and then Levi then will get Gimel Dalet Hey, and then the Yisrael will get the next 3 psukim. Now that's the end of the sugya. Now if we could jump a second, what is that?
That's for the Maimad, the Ma'amad.
For the Ma'amad, right, for the Ma'amad.
I was thinking
You are seeking Rosh Chodesh.
today's Kriya.
So Chaim Dod wants to know about today's Kriya. Let's go to today's Kriya. That's the end of the sugya. So now what are we doing this sugya? So Chaim David said that the Gemara is talking about Rosh Chodesh. So what does it mean? What does Emsoy mean? First of all, there's 4 aliyahs. Who's called the middle one? Who's the middle one? So it's a little dochak. You want to say he means a Levi. So what do? Aleph is Gimel, and then you want to repeat Gimel Dalet Hey. The Levi gets Gimel Dalet Hey, and then the Yisrael gets Zayin, Vav Zayin Ches. Give him ready test and yet also.
Yeah.
And then the Revi gets Rosh Chodesh.
We do that on Cholamoid, don't we?
That's what we're talking about.
Cholamoid, you read the same thing 4 times over again. No, the same thing. Everyone gets the same aliyah again.
Yeah, no, this
That's different.
Yeah, this is
Everyone,
what we
that's
did
the whole
today.
reading. But here we do this today. So it depends what shul you're in. So
Last year we did 3, 5, 5, 4,
3.
3, and then 3.
Okay, so
under
right,
the
so
number
so,
of
right, so
sugya.
right. So far, Chaim David said that the second one is the one that doubles over. So he does Gimel, Aleph is Gimel, and then again
Gimel,
V'omar
Marta,
Lahem,
yeah, I think
and then
that's what
Gimel Dalet Hey is the Levi,
Yeah.
and then the Yisrael is Vav Zayin Ches, that's Yud, and
That's what we did in the Ramban today.
right, that's the most shuls do.
Yeah.
So maybe that's well, not most shuls, but that's what Choslar Shuli does, and that's what's the problem with that?
What's the problem?
The problem is that when somebody comes late and he starts from Pasuk Gimel, he says, "Oh, that means there's already a dochak.
Did 2.
There's a dochak over here."
They thought he thought they didn't repeat it, that they started with 2.
Right. That's a consideration. Usually we don't like to start from Pasuk 3. We'd like always to start from Pasuk 4. That he should have at least be 3 psukim in. That a latecomer shouldn't think that they start that Aliyah was only 2. So there's a downside over here. So there's a other opinion, not like Chaim David said, that Aleph Beis Gimel is the Kohen, and then the Levi is going to be Dalet Hey Vav Zayin Ches,
Because you don't want to leave 2 over.
right? And then the Yisrael is going to get.
And it's not
Vav-
a problem for Shabbos because that's a whole new sugya.
What do you mean?
There's 2.
What's the problem? You didn't.
You're not allowed. It's not.
No,
like
you're not allowed to leave
2.
over in that paragraph. You're not allowed to leave over in the paragraph 2, because no one should make any
And
false
Shabbos is its own
assumptions.
paragraph, that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
that's how I tried to divide on the screen. You see that as divided.
Yeah. So
So-
then we don't worry about that. It's 2 there.
Yes.
Okay.
So the other eight would be Aleph Beis Gimel, and then the Levi does
Dalet Hey.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then the Yisrael is the Doleg. Not that the Yisrael is going to be the one who repeats, and he repeats again. Vav Zayin Ches. He goes on Tes Yud. Also give him also Tes
Otherwise,
Yud.
I have a different idea. Why you do Aleph Beis Gimel, and then you have to.
Oh, you gotta do Aleph Beis Gimel Dalet, and then do Dalet.
Oh, that'd be the best idea. L'chayr. Do Aleph Beis
Then he
Gimel
doesn't
Dalet.
get it.
There's
Hey,
no
Vav
difference.
Zayin and Ches.
There's no
He
difference.
doesn't get it.
There's no
Doesn't
difference.
change
There's
the
no
number.
difference. 3 and 5 or 4 and 4. There's no difference. That Kohen and Levi, they read the whole parsha, and then the Yisrael is the one who repeats, and he does Vav Zayin Ches, and he give him a bonus, give him Tes and Yud also. He should do something. He could have given it. He could have given it to Revi
They
also.
wanted the
Point either
Shlishi to
opinion.
do. Oh no, I see Shlishi. Then that way doesn't do anything.
Shlishi doubled over. He's the one who's
He doubled
doling.
over and didn't do anything new. in
Okay,
that
that
part.
also would have been good, but we do give him also 2 psukim new. According to any opinion, okay,
I
okay.
see, and that would be the same with we do 4 and 4. It could be 4 and 4, and then do Vav Zayin.
Yes, right. You could have done that also. But so that's what the Gemara says, that you according to the way Chaim David said, which is a standard custom. So then you doubled over, and you still come back to the same problem again. that you started from, but you started within 3 psukim.
The latecomers will say that.
That maybe the first aliyah was only 2
first aliyah
psukim.
was 2 psukim.
Hey, tough luck for coming late.
That is my-
But then you didn't gain anything. You didn't gain anything by doubling over because the whole reason why you didn't
No, not
want to.
tough luck, that they have somebody to ask. That's what.
But if you would have done Aleph Beis Gimel
That's
and then
it.
Dalet, why not do Chaim David? Why not do Aleph Beis Gimel and then Dalet Hey Vav?
No, then you got 2 left.
Okay, so you have 2 left over. Okay, so that's the problem. But anyway, you're not gaining that because anyway you have latecomers. Do Aleph Beis Gimel, Dalet Hey Vav. What's the problem? Why don't you want to do that? Because you only have 2 psukim left. But you still have the way you're doing it now also. Even though you doubled over, you still have the problem that you start from pasuk.
You don't want the 2 at the end. Oh, it's not the end. We
You don't want 2 at the
Yeah,
beginning.
then you want to
no 2 in the
either.
beginning, you want 2 at the end. You want the doubling has to be somewhere in the middle.
But you're
So you always have,
losing out. Okay,
you always have 3 before and 3 after. You know, that mistake
Okay.
won't be made.
so those are the 2 shitas of how to do Rosh Chodesh. Just to point out that in some Siddurim, it's very confusing in the way they printed it, and somebody's going to get Levi only 2 psukim. So watch out for that. Surely everybody has to get 3 psukim. Okay, next sugya.
That
Zakla.
was really light. I mean, you know,
What?
by Kriyas Torah
Right,
is 45 minutes of davening. I mean, where is this guy the whole time for davening?
Oh, he came late.
He comes
he
late,
came.
he-
For davening,
he-
He's
uh,
helping his wife. He gets the
He
school.
comes from Kriyas Torah. I mean,
If he comes late for Sukkot the Zimmer is one thing, but he's very late for Sukkot the Zimmer.
Everything of it.
Okay. Zaklau. Kol sheish bo musaf. So the Mishnah says that if someone has musaf and it's not a yantiv, it's 4 aliyahs, which is Rosh Chodesh and Chol HaMoed. That's when there's 4 aliyahs. If by the Tanis Tzibur B'kama. By the Tanis Tzibur, how many aliyahs do you have? On the Tanis Tzibur, how many aliyahs?
3, huh?
Sibur,
That's
you
your
have
3.
So everybody knows 3, but that's the sugya. The Gemara doesn't know yet. It's going to take time. You're right. That's the maskana. It's going to be only 3, but the Gemara is not sure. Rosh Chodesh and Moed.
Why we didn't have to sure?
Why? Because the Gemara is going to say, yeah. Why would you say surely 3?
Didn't we have yesterday that that a regular day
The regular Monday, Thursday, and Shabbos Mincha is 3.
is 3?
Rosh Chodesh and Chol HaMoed that it has musaf and it's not a yantif is 4.
And
Then more. So how about Tanis Tzibur?
So it seems like the kedusha is going up, and a Tanis Sibur would have to
Because it doesn't have musaf. You're saying
doesn't have musaf.
that's your question. It doesn't have musaf. What's the question? That's what you're asking. So the Gemara is going to say a pshat. Maybe
You
time.
think maybe it's 4?
Maybe it's 4 because maybe there's a musaf over there.
Oh, maybe there's a musaf.
Is there a musaf? Then of course there's no musaf. That's what the Gemara is going to talk about.
Okay.
Rosh Chodesh Moed Karban Musaf Abba. Maybe Dafka Rosh Chodesh and Chol HaMoed, which has a Karban Musaf, is 4. Avalachad like a Karban Musaf low, but he has no Karban Musaf. But no, maybe yes. Odom Hachanam Yikam Musaf Tefillah. There's an extra davening. That's also called Musaf. The word Musaf means an addition. Maybe it doesn't only mean a whole additional Shmon Esrei. It's a Musaf Tefillah. Like we know that you're supposed to say 24 brachas on the Tainus. There's an added Tefillah. Anenu, maybe it's called a Musaf Tefillah. There's an added Tefillah. Maybe that's enough reason that's called a Musaf. Maybe that's it.
What's that Neila?
Ne'ilah, on Ne'ilah. Does Rashi say anything? I didn't see Rashi over
No,
here.
we don't see it. There's no Kriyas Torah.
Rashi just says Anenu. So some it is true that some Tanaim have Ne'ilah, but not we saw over there that not all, maybe not all. Question about in the set of 3, 3, and 7. So the question over there was which ones have Ne'ilah. So you're right that some of them do have Ne'ilah, but it could be the Gemara wants even the ones that don't have Ne'ilah. Also, the end is going to be that it's nothing's going to be considered.
I'm
We're not
understanding
understanding
what's
what's
he asking.
That sometimes we had Maseches Tainus that sometimes they also have Ne'ilah also.
Oh, yeah, on a Tainus.
On Tainus, right? So that would make another reason why it's called Musaf Tefillah. I said about the 24 brachas or Hanenu, but there is such a thing as Nila also sometimes. So okay, we can add that on to the Gemara also. So maybe a Tainus Sibur also has 4 aliyahs. Toshma. So the Gemara brings a proof from the Mishnah. It says Rosh Chodesh v'Chodesh HaMoed Karan Abad. When the Mishnah says examples, it only says Rosh Chodesh v'Chol HaMoed. It doesn't say a Tainus. But a Tainus Sibur is Sholish because it's not in the list. But the Gemara says no, that's not a proof. In the list of 3, it also doesn't say Tainus Sibur. Amy Reisha says B'Sheni v'Chamisha Shabbos v'Mincha Karan Gimel. It doesn't say about a Tainus Sibur is 3. But a Tainus Sibur Abba because it's not 3. But you can't bring a proof from this Mishnah because it didn't talk about a Tainus Sibur. It's either 3 or 4, and it doesn't say by either list. So we still don't know. Toshma. The Rav Vikhl Labava B'Tainus Sibur come kor b'Sifra Pasach Baruch Chasim v'Labarich Nafal Kul Yamban Pai B'Rav Lo Nafal Alape. What we need for this story was Rav came to Bavel in a Tainus Sibur, and they gave him an aliyah. He read the Sefer Torah.
Who is this?
Rav. and he said the first bracha. He didn't say the closing bracha. He only said the bracha before. He didn't say the after bracha. There's another point here what the Gemara is going to go into, that also there was Nefilas Apayim, that they fell on their faces by Tachnon, and he did not. We'll get to that later. That's the end of the story. So what we want is that Rav got an aliyah on a Tainus Tzibor, and he said the first bracha, Asher Baruch Hu B'nai Meikol Ha'amim, and he didn't say, after he finished reading, he didn't say, Asher Nos Alam Terasim Ez V'Chayolam. He didn't say the closing bracha. Why not?
That's the original, that was the original way they do things.
The original way we do things was that the Kohen said the first bracha, and the Yisrael said the last one. Was Rav a Kohen?
No, but he was a Talmud Chacham. Talmud Chacham is the.
So you mamish know the whole Gemara.
Huh?
You know the whole
I
Gemara.
don't know. I just remember.
But then the Gemara wouldn't. Then if the Gemara knows that, then the Gemara wouldn't. Then it wouldn't be relevant to us. Our Gemara thinks that he got Yisrael. Our Gemara doesn't know yet that he got a Kohen. The Gemara thinks he got Yisrael. If he got Yisrael, why didn't he say the closing bracha?
Mhm.
It must be.
Must be that he-
Oh, then he should have finished.
It must be.
There's 4.
Oh, must be that there's 4.
Oh,
If he got an aliyah and he said the bracha and he didn't say the closing bracha, so why didn't he say closing bracha? He's the last aliyah. If it would have only been 3 aliyahs on a Tainus Tzibor, so he got the last aliyah.
uh-huh.
So he should have said the closing bracha. Since he didn't say the closing bracha, must be that he's not the last aliyah. Must be another aliyah after him.
Uh-huh.
But why does he say the first bracha?
So then Dr. Fine asked, so why did he say the first bracha?
Yeah.
If he's holding the Mishnah's time, that then he should have said the first bracha. The Gemara asked the kasha soon. But the Gemara goes slow. So the Gemara says, Tashma, this was a story that Rav came to Tainus Tzibor. He got an aliyah, and he said the first bracha. He didn't say the last bracha. Mechti, Rav Yisrael Kohen. Rav was Israel. He wasn't a Kohen. He got Shlishi. My time.
What Mechti means.
Mechti means let us analyze. Let us analyze. My time Chasam v'lo baruch. Why did he not say bracha at the end? If he's the Israel, he should have said the last bracha. La mishum deboy lemikra achmina basrei. Must be because there was another aliyah after him. That would be a raya that is 4 aliyahs.
Mhm.
But the Gemara pushes away the raya low. It's not. This is Chaim David's point. Rav Bakani Korah. Rav got the first aliyah, even though he was not a Kohen. Now, why is that? Rav Huna Korah Ribakana, because we behind Rav Huna, even though he's a Yisrael, he got Kohen because he was the most chashuv person. So too Rav, he got the first aliyah, even though he was a Yisrael. So then it's no raya about the 4th aliyah. Of course, there's aliyah after him. Levi, Yisrael, no raya, but the 4th aliyah.
Why don't you just say there wasn't a coin in the shul? Why it has to be, whatever. There's no coin, so that's what they gave it. That because it's Talmud Chacham.
Moshe is asking that the case couldn't have to be so complicated. It could have been that there was no Kohen, and that's why they gave him the first aliyah. Also nice. But the Gemara goes into the sugya that it could be that the Talmud Chacham, even if it could be. That's going to be a sugya now.
Right. I mean, it's a bigger chiddush to say that.
Yeah, but Moshe is saying that for the sugya you didn't need it. But the Gemara is saying it because it's true. But that's nice. The Gemara says Rav Huna Kari Bakani, that Rav Huna, they gave him the aliyah for Kohen, even though he was a Yisrael. But the Gemara says no, not anybody who's big Talmud Chacham gets Kohen. Bishlam Rav Huna Kari Bakani, first white line. Tafilu Ravami Ravasi, the Kani Chashiva Dawud Yisrael, make it Kafilu Rav Huna. All the Kohanim, even the most chashuv Kohen in Eretz Yisrael, he wasn't in Eretz Yisrael, he was in Bavel. But even the Kohanim in Eretz Yisrael, they were less than Rav Huna. Rav Huna was bigger than everybody. He was like worldwide. Rash Bahag, he was the biggest. So that's why he gets the first time he gets Kohen. At his time, Rav Huna was the biggest. Elo Rav, Hayika Shmuel, the Kanahava, V'daber Alei Shmuel, V'daber Alei. That Rav, it's true, Rav was the greatest, but Shmuel was even greater. The Gemara thinks at this point, because it says that Rav would be Makabed Shmuel. Daber Alei means that he made him above him. So, and Shmuel was a Kohen. Means that Rav wasn't bigger than all the Kohanim, because Shmuel was a Kohen. And he was, and Rav was machabed him more than himself. So even though he wasn't in the shul, but this halacha that they give it to the best, I mean, this we're seeing already now, that the Gemara doesn't mean if he's the biggest in the shul, you give it to the Talmud Chacham. It has to be the biggest in the whole, I don't know, the whole country or the whole world, I don't know. But here it says that Rav was machabed Shmuel more than himself, and therefore he would, and Shmuel was a Kohen, so he's not bigger than all the Kohanim, so he shouldn't take Kohen. The Gemara says no, Rav was really bigger than Shmuel. Shmuel Nami make a kai for Leila Rav. Shmuel was also below Rav. The Rav who David lay covered, and Rav was honoring him not because he was really bigger than him. They bring down a story in Bava Kama that there was an issue that why Rav was Machabed Shmuel, even though Rav was bigger. But he only honored him in his presence, but not in his presence. He wasn't really less than Shmuel. He was bigger than Shmuel. So therefore, the Gemara says Rav got Kohen. Rav got Kohen, and that's why he didn't say the after bracha because there's Aliyah after him. But it's not a proof that it was got Shlishi and there's Aliyah after him, that there's a Revi. The Gemara's point was, if Rav didn't say after bracha, must be Aliyah after him. Why is the Aliyah after him? The Gemara thought he got Shlishi. There must be there's a Revi. But the Gemara says, no, he got Kohen because he's the most chashuv, and even Shmuel was less than him.
Excuse
Yes?
me, when it said Shmuel was lower than Rav,
Yes.
he wasn't lower than Rav, but they meant that we see that he was.
The Gemara says that he is lower. Shmuel, the Gemara answers, Shmuel is lower than Rav.
He is lower. He is
What's
lower.
wrong? What's wrong?
I thought he was greater than Rav, but Rav gave him honor.
If he's greater than Rav, then that's the reason. That's the reason why Rav gave him honor. If he's greater than Rav, that's a pashtus. The Gemara
Oh, I'm
starts off
sorry. I see. Shmuel was.
really less than Rav,
Really
and
less
still
than-
Rav was honoring him for a side reason.
Oh, I see. Okay. And is that why we say Rav of Shmuel? We always put Rav first.
I don't know. The Gemara continues one line up. The Rav Kani Kara. I bring you another proof that Rav got the first aliyah. If he got the third aliyah, the fanah my time of baruch. Why did he say a bracha before? This was the kasha that Dr. Fine asked. That if what's his thing? He said the first bracha, not the last bracha. Which aliyah did he get? If he got shlishi, then there's no reason why. And he said that's and there's also a revi. That's why he didn't say it after bracha. Why did he say the fourth bracha? There was a Levi before him, the Kohen before him. So the Gemara says lachat takana. There's after a time that they made against the Mishnah. It means the Gemara said already before that in the Mishnah's time only the first said the first bracha and the last said the last bracha. But then there came the time that everyone says both brachas, like nowadays. Each person says both brachas. So Rav is talking. The Gemara didn't know exactly when this takana happened. Now the Gemara says that Rav's time was already after the takana against the Mishnah that each person gets both brachas. So that's why he said the fourth bracha. If so, everyone should jump up.
What about the after?
So even if there was a fourth aliyah, he also should say that after bracha. Shani Echad Yosef Rav, the male Aili, Meipak, Lo Nafki. When Rav's there, then people come late, but they don't leave early.
There was no takana.
So the takana sounds like it's not a low plug. That's good. That it sounds like it's not a low plug. It's only because the reason applies, and the reason why you say the after bracha is only because somebody might have left early. But when Rav's sitting over there, nobody leaves. There are people that come late, even when Rav's there. They come late. But once he's there inside, they're not going to leave when Rav, it's a chutzpah to Rav, they'll leave in his presence, it seems. And therefore, there's no reason to say the after bracha because nobody's leaving. But if he would have got, again, so how does it go? That if he would have gotten shlishi, then there's no reason why he would have said a for bracha and not an after bracha. Is that true? Am I saying right? The Gemara says that if he would have gotten shlishi, the Gemara's matchit. The Gemara thought that it had a raya. The Gemara says, I'm getting mixed up. Let's see. The Gemara says that he got the first aliyah, and that's why he said the first bracha. That's good, and he didn't say the second bracha because there's Yisrael coming after him. That would have been easy. That would be if you say that case, then it's pashut why he said the first bracha, not the second bracha, because he got Kohen. He got the first bracha. That's good. And then it'd be no raya about the whole thing about Yisrael. But the Gemara is matcha. The Gemara could say, I could be matcha you, and say he got really shlishi. And the reason why he said the first bracha is because it's after the takana that each one says a bracha for the latecomers and the early leavers. But he didn't say the after bracha because no one left over there.
Is that the reason why you?
The reason
say
why,
after bracha because people will leave? Is that
yes,
why-
that's the beginning of the sugya today. The mamish the beginning. So over there it says that the reason why you make with that nowadays we say bracha before each person says a bracha before and after is because of latecomers. That's why you say a first bracha and the latecomers might leave. That's why early leavers. That's why you say that. So by Rav, nobody leaves early, so you don't have to say the after bracha.
Interesting. But that's not the point. Once it's been established halacha, why is he?
No, so it seems that it's not a low plug. It seems that it's not a low
When you
plug.
say low plug, I'm
Low plug
sorry,
means
my-
that it's not across the board. They made a takana only if it applies. And a place where nobody leaves early, they don't have to say the after
so
bracha.
it goes according to the situation.
Yeah.
Okay,
But that means it's a revi.
was he revealed?
Why do you say
Wasn't he
no?
the first?
The two
Because
short.
if there's only 3 people getting the lead, he still has to say after bracha.
No, so then the Gemara,
Because-
no. That's what the Gemara brought a raya that there was a revi. If you say he got shlishi,
Yeah.
then there'll be a raya that there is a revi.
Yeah,
That's what the
okay.
Gemara wanted. That's what the Gemara wanted. Yes, please.
Are we holding that he's?
So we don't know. We still don't know. On the Tanya Sibur, are there 4 aliyahs, only 3. Tashma, The Gemara continues
Why
and
would
this
you want to increase aliyahs on a
Because of the
tiny?
because it has musaf. It has
Musaf.
musaf. It has musaf. It has musaf tefillah.
In other words, if you're using that as your reasoning, then yes.
Most people are not in a rush. That's
What do you
Rashi
mean
says.
people
Not in a rush.
They
Tiny-
gotta-
You don't know
By
breakfast.
us, the rush, we gotta get the Kohen to bless before Shkia.
I know.
Don't mind Shachar. Tashma.
Oh, I'm thinking about the afternoon.
Tashma, Zaklal, Kol Sheish Bo Mittel Malach Olam, Kigon Tanis Sivur, V'Tisha B'Av, Karen Gimel. V'She'en Bo Mittel Malach Olam, Kigon Moshe Chodashim V'Chol Hashem Moed, Karen Daled. Shema Mina, open brisa. The brisa says that a day that is taking away from people's work, it's a work day, and people by having liyas more, it's taking away from their work, like a Tanis Sivur on Tisha B'Av. It's a work day. Because when I did a lot of work on Tisha B'Av, it's a minig not to, but there's a lot of work on Tisha B'Av, so then only 3 aliyahs, not 4. But a day which nobody's working anyway, like Rosh Chodesh and Chol HaMoed, that no one's working anyway, so then you get 4 aliyahs. This price is not the same as the Mishnah. Mishnah spoke about if it's a Musaf, that's the reason why it should be more. Here it says that the issue is if it's going to be taken away from people's work. So if it's a work day, so then we don't make 4 aliyahs. It's a work day. But if it's not a work day, so we make 4 aliyahs. And it says Rosh Chodesh is not a work day.
For women.
So it doesn't say all that. It doesn't say. Okay,
Chodesh is
it's not a work day. That's why we could afford to have 4 aliyahs. But the Tainus Sibur and Tisha B'Av is a work day.
But
So-
there are tiny steep where we have that if it's a very strict one,
Ah,
then
very
they
nice.
can't work.
Uh-huh.
So then maybe there would be 4 aliyahs.
Like Yaakov saying that Tainus Sibur, we also had that sometimes you're not allowed to work. Very nice. By the 7 at the end, 3, 3, and 7, then there's no malacha.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I didn't think about it. Tisha B'Av the Gemara, that's interesting. Tisha B'Av the Gemara says is Talia Minagam Makom. That's a Mishnah. In Psachim. Talia Minagam Makom. He's saying by Tainus Sibur, there are some Tainus Sibur.
And Yom
That
Kippur
is no
a
Isam Allah.
special day.
Yeah, but Rav, you have to say
Yom
those,
Kippur is
Kippur
a
is
fast
that's-
day, but
that's
it's a
something
special day. Yeah.
but those are special days when it's really at the end. So
Okay, but Tainus Sibur, they have 4 aliyahs or 3 aliyahs. But here it says that a Tainus Sibur, this is open by what we were looking for, that here it says Tainus Sibur is only 3 aliyahs, not 4. Open brisa. Shvamina. But not Rav Ashi still doesn't give up because he says, look in the Mishnah. The Mishnah seems is right. You have a brisa, you honor the brisa, but it seems to be that the Mishnah is against that. Rav Ashi, v'anan lo tananach, your Mishnah is against that. It says Zaklal, kol yom sheish bo musaf ve'eno yom tov koron haba. And that is now we said before that musaf might be musaf tefillah. We weren't sure, but he says the fact that it says Zaklal, after it told you the din of Rosh Chodesh and Chol HaMoed, it says Zaklal. The klal usually comes to include more than it said already. So what's it coming to include? Lasui Yemai, Lav Lasui Tainus Sibur of Tisha B'Av. Is it coming to include something that Tainus Sibur also has 4 aliyahs? I didn't know what the musaf means. Musaf tefillah, musaf. But the Maisa is coming to be marble something. So what else has 4? Yes, Zaklal. So, but the Gemara says, but Rav Ashi, you do agree that the Bryce is against you. Well, Rav Ashi, Masis and Mani. The Bryce that we just said before, 2 opinions. We didn't know, not yet. We're going to have it now. Lo Tanakam of Rav
This is
Yossi.
according to Rav Ashi.
We're asking, we're attacking Rav Ashi. Rav Ashi, you say the Mishnah says you have to have 4. It's going to be against everybody.
Oh,
If you learn the Mishnah according to the way that you learn, we're going to be Matchei Raya. But according to what he said so far, that the Zaklal means there are 4 aliyahs. So the Gemara is going to ask that the following brisa is going to be against and show that it's going to say all the opinions. It sounds the next brisa is going to say all opinions, and there's no such opinion. There's going to be a machlokes on Tisha B'Av if you have 1 aliyah, 3 aliyahs, but nobody says 4. And over there, it seems like it's listing all of the opinions. The brisa before it said there are 3 aliyahs, but maybe the Mishnah argues. But there's another brisa that says this machlokes if it's 1 or 3, and it doesn't make any more opinions. So nobody holds 4. That's the most kasha now. You want to say something, Chaim David?
how can you have 1?
Okay, let's see. We had in Tainus already. Only Rav Ashi, Masis and Mani, Lo Tanakam of Rav Yossi. According to Rav Ashi, the Mishnah says 4. It's against everybody. Tanakama coming up and Rav Yossi coming up. The Tanya. Chol Yos B'Sheni V'Chamishi Koren Shlosha Maftir Echad. If Tisha B'Av fell out on a Monday or Thursday, then anyway there's a Kriyas Torah. So then you read 3 aliyahs, and there's a Maftir. But the Shlish V, if Tisha B'Av came out on a Tuesday or a Wednesday or any other day, Koren Yachad the Maftir Echad, only 1 aliyah. 1 aliyah. Tisha B'Av, 1 aliyah. So that's an opinion that says that on Tainus Sibur is only 1 aliyah. Rabbi Yossi Yomer Olam Koren Gimel Maftir Bechad. Anytime, even Tuesday, Wednesday, also there's 3 aliyahs. But this brisa says 2 opinions that on a Tainus Sibur and Tisha B'Av either 3 aliyahs or 1 aliyah, but nobody says 4. So
specifically Tisha B'Av.
So maybe Tainus Sibur also maybe doesn't see a difference between Tisha B'Av and Tainus Sibur, and therefore the Gemara is asking that one opinion is 1 aliyah, one opinion is 3 aliyahs, but there's no more opinions. And according to you, the Mishnah says 4.
It's not even in the Ofik. It's not.
Yes. So now Rav Ashi had a diak in our Mishnah that says Zaklal. It must be coming to say even Tiny Siba is also 4. But the Brisa says no, there are only 2 opinions. So that's the Gemara's kasha. The kasha is Zaklal. What if we can do with Rabashi's dik in the Mishnah that Zaklal came to be marvelous something more than Rosh Chodesh and Chol Hamoed? The question with the Gersa here, whatever my love lasuye la Rosh Chodesh u'Moed is it? No, the Gemara says it's only coming to talk about Rosh Chodesh and Moed. When it says the Zaklal, it's only including Rosh Chodesh and Chol Hamoed. Which the Gemara says right away doesn't make sense. You don't need a klal for that. That's what it says. It says Rosh Chodesh and Chol Hamoed is 4, and then Zaklal it's coming to be marva more. So that's the Gemara's kasha. What Rashi Lachor is right that the Zaklal is coming to say there's something else besides Rosh Chodesh and Chol Hamoed. It says in the Mishnah Rosh Chodesh and Chol Hamoed is 4 aliyahs. Zaklal Kol Sheish Bo Musaf Ve'en Yom Tov is 4. What is the Zaklal coming to be marva more than it says? It says 2 cases. It says 2 cases. It was Chodesh and Chol Hamoed. Then it says a Zaklal to be marva more. The more answer
to push away the concept of time.
It must be coming not to push away. It must be coming to include. It must be coming to include that Tainus is also 4, or else it wouldn't have said Zaklal. It says already Rosh Chodesh and Chol Hamoed. What's Zaklal coming to say? So the Gemara says it's not coming to be marva more. Simon of Alma Yahiv. It's only coming to give you a simon. The low tema Yantiv Chol Shal Moed Kiadadin, and you might think that Yantiv Chol Hamoed is the same as Yantiv. You might think Yantif includes Chol Hamoed. So he told you no. Get this rule called the Tafile Milsa, Mechavre Tafile Gavre Yisera. The more that something is, anything that has more than something else, also more aliyahs. And now it goes through the whole Mishnah. Hilkach. It's something more than a regular weekday. It has a Korban Musaf. But Yantif is even more than that. Yantif does have Basiyas Malacha, Chamisha. A regular Chol Hamoed doesn't have Isam Malacha. But Yantif does, so therefore more aliyahs. Yom Kippur is Onish Koreis is even 6 aliyahs. Shabbos Dikes Eskila 7 aliyahs. So the Gemara.
So what do you mean? That's your proof that the higher it is, the more the aliyahs.
The Gemara wanted to know. This says Zaklal, which the Gemara thought is coming to be marba more than Rosh Chodesh and Chol Hamoed. And the Gemara is matchen saying no, it's just coming to tell you the hierarchy. A way to remember that Chol Hamoed is not the same as Yantif. That it doesn't have Isim Malacha, not coming to be marba anything. So that's the Maskan of the Sugya. The Brisa before said the Farish that there's only 3 aliyahs. And that's what everybody knows. Tiny Steve was only 3 aliyahs.
When it said Yahiv, or whatever the word is, Yahiv, Yahav.
To give. Where is that? Simna.
Yeah, right
Talma
there.
Yahiv. So he wanted the word Yahiv is to give.
Yes, but is it Aramaic?
Yes.
It's Aramaic there. And it says Simena Ba'alma. But the fact that it's with Aramaic, that's like a proof that it's Aramaic.
And yes, and also we know that the word. Also, we know that it's Aramaic word.
Okay.
What's the Peshazi?
No, I was just,
Tana-
you've said many times that Ahava doesn't come from this word to give, like Rav Dessler says.
I wouldn't prove it from there. Not necessarily.
Because this is an Aramaic word, and that's a
Yeah.
Hebrew.
Kind of it.
What does this mean?
Yeah, he's giving a simon. He's just giving a simon. He's just giving a simon. Okay, now we're zocher to a bonus. That in the Brisa before, we finished the sugya. That Rosh Chodesh and Chol Hamoed is 4, Tainus is 3. But we also got a side sugya very nice about the Talmud Chacham. That's the biggest. He gets Kohen also.
We don't usually see that.
I think that Rabbi Ovadia, not the whole every time, but I think once a year or something that Yosef. I think so. I heard so. But I heard
The
so.
what?
He would get
They gave him Kohen,
Oh, that he would get the first one.
even if they were Kohen. Now the side sugya came in because in the Brisa before, when it said the story of Rav that he got Kohen, he got Aliyah. Doesn't say which guy. Just to point out the Maskana now. Before we had 2 choices: which Aliyah did Rav get? Because we weren't sure if there was a Revi or not. But now that we know that there was no Revi, so Rav said a bracha before, not after. Which Aliyah did he get?
The first
He
one,
got Kohen.
even though he's not a Kohen.
Even though he's not a Kohen, and he was the biggest, even bigger than Shmuel. That's the end of that sugya. But Agav, in the story, when it said that Rav came to Bavel, so it also, and the Tainus Tzibur, so it also said that he didn't fall Tachanun. That's the next sugya. Why didn't he fall Tachanun? Everybody fell Tachanun, and he didn't. Go for Rav, Ichlal Bavel, but Tainus Tzibur. Come, Karav Sifra, Pasach Baruch, Chasam V'lo Baruch. That's now we learned all that already. But then it says in the Brisa, Nafakul Yalba Alan Payu, Rav Lanafal Alan Pay. Everybody fell on their faces, Tachanun, and Rav did not. Why not? My time, Rav Lanafal Alan Pay. Why didn't he fall on his face?
Maybe it was a moil. Maybe it was a.
So then nobody
Nobody.
should be staying tachnan then.
Remember, what was
Also, it was a tiny steamboat. This was like a tiny steamboat. It says it was a tiny
Maybe he
steamboat.
was running according to the Inyanim of Eretz Yisrael, which didn't need a tiny steamboat. Maybe here.
He's in a place which is fasting, so he's a tiny steamboat. Yes,
No, I think he was going according to, maybe there's plenty, there's no need for tiny steamboat.
no, he's in a place. He's in a place in the shul. He's in the same shul with everybody else. He's in the shul with everybody else.
He was talking by Rabbi Grandma. They don't say talking everything.
So why everybody said tachnan? Everybody fell on their faces and he didn't. So the Gemara says two terutzim. Maybe the first area says that there was a stone floor, and the halacha is you're not supposed to fall. You're not supposed to be mishtachav on a stone floor. The question is going to be, then it's not a stone. Then it's not a stone floor. But this is a stone floor. So that's why they didn't fall on the floor.
Are they idiots? They don't know the basic halacha.
So Chaim Dov is asking, in other words, Chaim Dov is asking, what everybody else?
Yeah.
You did a very dramatic way of asking. Okay. So, Tanya, Vevim asks like Sitam Ba'asachem Mishtachah B'Osalah, Alei Yata Mishtachah Ba'asachem, Avalata Mishtachah Ba'Lavonim Shal Beis HaMikdash. That is something. The Pasuk Pshat and the Pasuk might be talking about Avodah Zarah. Don't bow down on a stone floor to Avodah Zarah. But the Gemara says no. It's even to Hashem. You only allowed to bow down.
It's the rice in the Eben HaMaschis. What's it called?
Yes, when you look in the Pasuk, you might think it's talking about Avodah Zarah. If you read the Pasuk, you might think it's talking about Avodah Zarah. The pasuk says the pasuk doesn't say that. The pasuk, you learn the pasuk, you'll see that it's talking about Avodah Zarah. But the Gemara says a drash over here from the word Ba'atzechem.
Their talking was different than our talking. They didn't just go on the hand.
Right.
They went on the floor.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So yeah. So the question is, falling on the face means the heart on the floor. So the Gemara says he didn't because it was a stone floor, and we learned that you're not supposed to bow on a stone floor, even to Hashem. Even though the pasuk in the pasuk might not be much like that. But it's something that's also in the land, but it's put in the Beis HaMikdash. It's also to bow even to Hashem on a stone floor. So that's why he didn't bow down. Then the kasha is like Yaakov asked, Chaim David asked, that everybody should not bow down if there was a stone floor. The Gemara answers, Teretz number one, Kamei de Rav Havoy. The stone floor was only in Rav's place. The rest of the shul was not stone floor. He was a stone floor. And that's why he couldn't bow down. So why doesn't he walk over to the people where there's no stone floor? Let him go to the rest of the people where there's no stone floor and over there fall on the floor. He didn't want to bother anybody. Rashi says because people would have to get up for him, or I heard another shot that they'd have to make room for him. Everybody else's seat, everybody has a place. Yeah, people. He didn't want to bother anybody. And the other reason why Rav was different than everybody else, Rav preached the Daim V'Eglam Hevav. Rav's custom was to do Hishtachavah. Hishtachavah means flat on the floor. There's different ways of bowing down. So Hishtachavah means to be flat on the floor. Pisha the Daim V'Eglam. And
that's the problem with the rest. That's what the community was doing.
The community, and the Gemara is going to say soon, the rest of the community did not do that. The rest of the community, they kneeled, they put their face on the floor, but they did.
That's the only reason. Because if he would have done the Chetzi bowing like him, then he wouldn't have an insult.
Yes, I'm not following. The Gemara's first teretz was that why is he different than everybody else? Because he had a stone floor and nobody else had a stone floor. Second teretz, everybody had, the whole shul was a stone floor. But everybody else bowed in a way that they're allowed to bow on the stone floor. And he was bowing in a way that his custom was to bow in a way which you're not allowed to do on the stone floor. That's why he didn't do his way of bowing. As Ula says, that it's only us when you are spread out on the floor, that's the way you're not allowed to bow on the floor, and that's why he didn't do it. Everybody else did. That's Hishtachavaya. And everybody else didn't do like that. So therefore, they were allowed to bow on the floor. They were allowed to kneel on the floor. Let's say they kneeled or they put their face on the floor, but they didn't flat. They weren't flat on the floor. That's why they were allowed to do it even on the stone floor. But the Gemara says, so do like they're doing.
So why didn't he do
Why didn't Rav do like they're doing? So he shouldn't do. Always does preach a Daim Raglaim, and now he shouldn't. The Gemara says, "Lo meshani miminhag." He didn't do different. His custom was always to be a bunch of Daim Raglaim.
So here would be to change.
Right, he didn't change his custom. He didn't want to change his custom. His custom was always to do flat on the floor. So he did. So he would, and that's what he usually did. And here he couldn't. Here he couldn't do it, and therefore they didn't do a different way of bowing in order to do it on the floor. That's the first teretz. First teretz was the problem of all this was the stone floor. Either only had a stone floor, everybody else didn't, or everybody had a stone floor, but he would be mishtachaveh, and that's why he didn't do it. Everybody else was not mishtachaveh, they just were korea, they just kneeled or something, so therefore they were allowed to do it. Another teretz about the whole thing about him and the difference of everybody else, there was no stone floor, nothing to do with a stone floor. Adam Chashuv Shani, an important person is different. He's not allowed to bow in public. What is that? Kid Rebbe Elazar. First white line. That Adam Chashuv is not allowed to fall on his face in public. They say Yerushalmi in public. Only if he knows he's going to be answered like Yeshua ben Nun. Yeshua, when he fell on his face, Hashem right away responded. And if somebody's going to fall on his face in Tzibur, when everyone knows that he's supplicating to Hashem in such a extreme way, and he's not answered, so they say it's going to be a busha for that person, that Hashem is not answering him.
I thought it's not only busha to him, but it's what's the word?
Disgrace.
It's a disgrace to God Baruch Hu that this tzaddik's not getting. That he's not answering this person's cry.
I thought so also.
It's a disgrace to Hashem.
That people will say that Hashem's not answering, even though he's so such a great tzaddik and he's trying so hard. Why is Hashem not answering him? The midas adin is so. I thought so also, but I didn't see anybody that says it yet. I like the pshat, but I didn't see anybody that says it. Rashi and Tosfos don't say it. So the chsiv Yom Hashem El Yeshua Kumlach, when Yeshua fell on his face, Hashem said, Hashem responded to him. To rise, and the problem is so and so. Hashem responded to his plea. He did so. That's the reason why Rav was different than everybody else. End of the sugya. Tanu Rabbanan, Kid al Apayim, Kri al Brikayim, Ishtachavos Ufishat Reglaim. You find three different terms about bowing. One is called by Yikod, Batikod. Some is by Korea. One is Ishtachavos. Three different kinds. Kid al Apayim. Kida is when a person puts his face to the ground. Shenema Batika Basheva Apayim Oretz. Basheva bowed down to David. It says she Tikod. Apayim. Apayim is the face. So the face to the floor, that's called kida.
But not the whole body, just
right. Kriya al berkayim. The word kriya means kneeling. The woman from kroa on his knees. So you see that's kneeling. That's kneeling. And the word ishtachavo means switch to the line that the person is flat. Shenema havo navo anib. It doesn't say about the face. It says orza. The whole person is orza. That means the person is flat. So those are the three things. But I think when a person does kida, usually he's going to be.
I don't know why it says find a mistake. I'm not sure what the mistake is, but
Okay, they make it justful. I'm not. The pictures they made are not proper.
okay.
So
You agree?
What's the difference?
Yeah, it's just to show the.
Yeah, but they're doing more than they're showing it. They're making a bit of a joke out of it.
Okay.
I don't agree with them.
Kriya is more than kida.
So kriya is on the face to the floor. Kriya is the knees, kneeling, and ishtachva is flat. I just say a regular person.
Does the kriya also include the face to the floor?
No, the kriya just means he kneels. A person kneels.
There's a lesson.
I just would say that when a person does kida, how does he get his face to the floor? How do you do that if he's not flat on the floor? So it could be that he kneels.
Like this was.
What?
They
No.
didn't-
So
they
the
didn't
pasha,
keep-
right? So the pashas would be that the person would first kneel,
Yes.
and then he could put his face to the floor also. So he'll do kriya and a kida. The kida is that his face is to the floor.
Mhm.
How does he get there? How does he get his face to the floor?
Well, then
So
what is-
either
what
could,
is- yeah.
right? They either could be flat, but then he's going to shtachav already, or he could kneel and also get his face to the floor, which is what most people do on Yom Kippur. That's what most people do. Most shuls, besides the Horva that I know of, most places. How do you bow down on Yom Kippur? In the shul,
You do kriya.
people
and then you
kneel
put your
and then
face
they put the face to the floor. That's called a kriya and a kida. There's a fancy kida,
Kriya and the kriya is what?
kneeling.
Is kneeling, and the
And
kida
then
is the
the
face
face.
going to the ground.
That's right. Now, is it possible to do kida
So
without
it's a
kneeling?
combination. in other
I would think so. And is it possible to do kida without kneeling? So then it's a big cons. Then it's a big cons. That a person is going to not kneel and still get his face to the ground. That's what the Gemara says
In good shape.
about what?
If in good shape.
You have to be in good shape, and it's dangerous also. The Gemara is going to say, Levi achvi kida kamei de Rebbe ve'itla. Levi showed kida in front of Rebbe, and he became lame from it.
Hoppa.
Oh, he became
Lame.
from-
Try it out.
Because that's a very hard position to be. That he's gonna, and they talk about Gemara Sukkah talks about it, that he would put his hands to the floor in a way that he would get his face to the floor without kneeling.
Wow.
So it's without kneeling.
Well,
You have to be very
there
nimble.
are yogi positions which.
Right,
to be
but
very nimble.
yoga also you can get it's dangerous if you don't know how to do it. It's
Well,
dangerous.
after I heard what happened to who is it that.
Levi, so you don't do it
I'm not
anymore.
gonna give it a try.
Is this what caused Levi to become lame? It says a person should not shoot words towards heaven. to say things in a strong way because a great person did it and he became lame. And the Gemara says Levi. Over there it says there was a more in Tainus, I think, that there was I'm not sure if it's Tainus or not, that there was a drought. And he said that you went to heaven and you're not taking care of your children. It was like a strong way to talk. So it became lame. So the Gemara says that's what caused it, not the fact that he did kida. The Gemara says both of them, and that's they explained because when there's a satan makatrik b'shas sakana, when a person is in a dangerous position, so then the satan comes and he brings out the records because he had done this shooting words. That's why the satan said while he's in a dangerous position that he deserves to be lame.
So I have a side question in this picture.
Yes.
That I showed you, where it said Kriya and he was on his knees with his face to the ground. So the
I
mistake
would have thought,
be that
yeah, I would
Kriya
think.
only be the knees.
Yeah, I would think so. When a person
and
is
with the hand,
kneeling,
with the
I would think
body
so.
erect.
I would think so. And
That's
if he wants to
called-
do kida also, then he can do kriya and a kida. If he'd be doing his knees on like kneeling, even erect, then when he bows over to touch his face to the floor, that's doing a kida. And if you want to do a
And so
fancy
people that
kida,
do Kriya, I've never seen anybody just do Kriya.
we don't have it too much.
And for Jews to do Kriya would be on both knees, because I have
Yes.
seen people like in front of royalty,
That they do one knee.
they do
Uh-huh.
one knee. They
That's
bow in
interesting.
front.
I think they
One
created
knee,
me.
that's sort of like a half prayer for us.
Oh, they do this
He was
thing with the
kneeling-
hat in the back and
kneeling-
one foot down.
Kneeling on
They're
both
kneeling
knees.
on
Yeah,
one knee, but the Jew would kneeling for us would
kneeling
be
is
kneeling on
both
two
knees. Right,
knees.
right.
Okay.
I think so. And the Gemara ends off one more line. Amar Rav Chia bar Abba Chazina lehu Abaye v'Rava de'matzli atzli. I saw Abaye and Rava that when they bow, they tilt a little bit to the side. That's not cool. That takes away some problem. So the poskim say that this applies to both halachas that we spoke about. That you're not supposed to bow on a stone floor, and also you're not supposed to bow. Adam Choshev is not supposed to bow in public unless he knows he's going to be answered by Yeshua ben Nun. If he turns a little bit to the side, it's not called bowing. That's like a heter. It's a heter only if he's when he's
What was the
bowing.
word for bowing?
I didn't say here. It says Matlei Esli means that he is tilted to the
what-
side. I said there are two. Agmar spoke about two isurim. One is to bow on a stone floor,
Yeah,
hishtachavaya on a stone floor,
to
and
prostrate.
prostrate on a stone floor,
Yeah.
and also that Adam Choshev is not allowed to fall on his face in
Yes.
public. For both of these things, the Mepharshim say that it would
Oh, people,
take
that, I see.
it would take away the
Less than
Issa
greater people.
if it would be on his side. To do it on the
Even a
side is
great
not
person
called.
could do it if it's on its side.
And also the fact that you're not allowed to prostrate on a stone floor, if it's a little bit to the side, is permissible.
I see.
Just to sum up the halacha that the poskim say, I don't see it in the Gemara, but the poskim say the thing about the stone floor. The Adam Chashiv is not relevant to us, and the halacha about the stone floor. So there's, in order to be Issa Daraisa, it's only two conditions: that it's a stone floor and it's flat. That's the Issa Daraisa. The Issa Rabbanan is if you have one of the two. If it's a stone floor, you're not allowed to even do kida, kriya. You're not allowed to do it even kneeling if it's a stone floor, and if it's flat, to do it even also if it's not a stone floor, you're not allowed to prostrate.
Really? That's the,
What do you mean if
that's,
it's flat?
Picture the eyebrow, right? The prostrate flat, that's kishtachavoya, is also even not a stone floor.
meaning.
Means there's one deraisa and two
We're not allowed
drabanan.
to
Even
do
not a
Shachavai.
stone.
We never let the Shachavai.
Right.
Or never.
Only the Beis Hamikdash.
Because there's no basin.
Out of the Beis Hamikdash is called Evan Maskis. The Evan Maskis is even to bow down to Hashem on a stone floor, but with the rice is only also on a stone floor. Ishtachavaya, prostrate, flat on a stone floor. That's Issa Daraisa. Because of that, they made two Issa Rabbanans, which I don't see in the Gemara so much, but that's how to understand the halach of the Mishnah Berurah, that one of the two conditions would make Issa Rabbanan. Either he's prostrate, he's on a stone floor, even not prostrating, even kneeling or space to the floor is also Issa if it's a stone floor. And if he's prostrating flat, then it's also even not a stone floor.
Okay, Rabbi, you have to now reveal what they do in the churba.
In the churba, they must be that they are that they're a little bit to the side, a little bit to the side.
And do the full down, but.
They
on
do
the
far a
side.
little bit to the side.
And here,
And-
so in this picture, this is also not accurate because the hand should be in front of, the head
Ah,
should be on the
Pisha.
ground, right?
His head is on the ground, is it not?
No,
that
it's on his
picture?
hands,
It's on his hands. It should be his hands straight out.
straight out.
I think
right?
so. That's
Yes,
the word
some
pisha
other day.
tadayim. And so in the regular shuls, when we finished this, it's pretty over time already. Just in the regular shuls, when you on Yom Kippur, what do? They give out things. Not to, if you have a stone, if you have a stone floor, if you have a stone floor or something, so you have to have some kind of a separation. I don't know. And And then you'll be able to do your kneeling and putting your head to the floor because you have, it's not on a stone, not a stone floor. What?
Sometimes even if it's carpeted, they'll give us.
So they shouldn't give out anything. If they wanted, they could, but no problem. As a carpeting, it's not a stone floor, so you're
You don't
okay.
want the suits to get dirty.
So that's okay, but that's not the real reason why they're giving it out. They're giving it out for the Isser, for this Isser. If someone's worried about the suit, but if you have a carpeting floor or something like that, or wooden floor, so then there's no problem. They don't have to give anything out. There's mutter to do the regular kneeling people do. But in the place where they would be prostrate flat,
Floor where they, in a place where the prostrate.
in the
flat,
floor where they prostrate, then it's not enough,
Even with the wooden.
even with the wooden floor. And they do give out something, because if it would be a stone floor,
Still, it should be on the side.
if it would be a stone floor and frustrating, it'd be Yisr D'Oraisa. And then they say it wouldn't even help to tilt to the side. The tilting for the side is for the Rabbanans.
Okay,
So
why
therefore,
you-
so they give out something, in the Chorba, they give out something, and also you tilt to the side, right? Okay, Yashikach, everybody, I'm sorry that it's
Can I ask you-
overtime.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry about this.
Yes.
The din of saying Kriya Shema ala mitzvah